Oh, hey, we're down here. I'm sure you're wondering what I'm doing down here on the floor. Well, today we're going to talk about rugs, baskets, bags, all kinds of home decor. And that's because we're talking about Bernat Maker Home Dec.
I bought my first skein of Bernat Maker Home Dec from a Space Tricot in Montreal. For me, that's a testament of the breadth of the yarn's appeal. Boutique shops carry it, big retailers carry it, and you can even find it online at the world's most popular digital shopping mall. You know the one. Bernat is one of the brands under the Yarnspirations umbrella. Since this is one of those industrial brands, you can also go right to the Yarnspirations website and purchase direct from the manufacturer. That ain't too shabby. If you've never wandered out to Yarnspirations website, you'll find a bunch of familiar brands like Red Heart, Karen, Lily Sugar and Cream, and Susan Bates, among others. They sell direct, so there's no stopping you from opening a window and perusing their wares. Even though it's easy to thumb your nose at the fiber factories, Red Heart maintains an Instagram account, as does Yarnspirations. Both are full of eye-catching colors and patterns. It's worth checking them out.
Before we dive into the deep end, remember to like and subscribe. If you enjoy getting yarn reviews in your news feed, be sure to tap that little bell so you never miss a new video when I upload it. As always, Yarn Over It is unaffiliated with the products I review. I just do this because I love yarn and I love you, my fellow fiber enthusiasts. This is a community, but remember, kindness and respect are the rules of engagement.
Now then, let's get to the heart of the matter. Is Bernat Maker Home Dec the right yarn for your project and skill level? To answer that question, we'll evaluate the yarn based on the following categories: price, craftsmanship, care, workability, touchability, and versatility. These last three categories are all things that I take into consideration before I purchase the yarn, or at least before I purchase the yarn again. For price, I give Home Dec a whole heart. Home Dec retails at $10.99 USD, and the skeins are enormous. Each skein is 317 yards, that's 290 meters. With a recommended knitting and crochet gauge of 8 millimeters, that's a US 11 or a US L for a crochet hook. It gives you 10 stitches and 11 rows to get a 4x4 inch swatch. Now that's assuming that their gauge is correct. I have found that it's not, that this actually knits and crochets up better at a smaller gauge, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. Any way you look at it, for 317 yards at $10.99 a skein, that's what I call bang for your buck. For craftsmanship, I give Home Dec a sliver of a heart. Now, I'm not going to go full tangle on this because once you transform the skeins into a workable form, the yarn itself has a shelf life on par with uranium. However, this is a knotty yarn. I've never gone through a skein without at least one knot, and most have several. It's also fairly obnoxious to work directly from the skein. If you feed it from the outside, you've got this huge rumbling mass rolling around your home every time you pull some new yarn. I have yarn spindles, and even those don't work because the moment the skein loses structure, it collapses in on itself. Then you're battling a fairly grippy yarn which doesn't want to feed. If you feed from the middle, as I prefer to do with skeins, well, good luck finding that end of origin. It's always a bit of a nightmare, and the chances are fairly high you'll have a mini battle finding the start. It's almost as though they don't really think about how the product transforms from skein to finished product. Once it leaves the factory, you're on your own. For care, Home Dec gets a full heart. In a word, indestructible. This is a cotton nylon blend constructed as a plated cotton shell with a nylon filling. Go ahead, make that doggy bed. It'll hold up to the muddy paws and scratching and spinning to find the right spot. When it gets gross, just throw it into the wash. Use high heat, toxic detergent. Then right on into the dryer where you can cook the crap out of that thing. It'll come out looking brilliant and beautiful. This is a yarn for households with sticky fingers and furry friends. For workability, I give Bernat Maker Home Dec half a heart. Home Dec takes a hit since working directly from the skein is fraught with false starts. However, once it's in a happy cake and all the knots have met their ends, the yarn works up lickety-split. I tend to double or triple up on strands because I like the heft and color play of mixing and matching all those happy colorways. It also plays nicely with other yarns. For example, I found this Red Heart Unforgettable, which is also machine washable. So I added it in for some shimmer and pop and playful color variegation for my bedroom rug. Though, if I'm perfectly honest, if I had it to do over again, I would skip the Red Heart. It's shiny and pretty, but not nearly as durable as Home Dec. This bag was made from a single strand of Home Dec paired with some leftover sock yarn somebody donated to me. And these baskets? They're made with 2 strands of Home Dec held together. Each of these projects works up in the space of a rainy day movie marathon because the yarn has just the right quality of tooth and glide, which makes it slide happily over plastic, wood, metal, whatever hooks you happen to have. And that makes for one happy hooker. Don't take my word for it. YouTube is full of tutorials using this versatile yarn in a myriad of projects. My favorite is a gorgeous Tunisian crochet pillow cover worked up by TL Yarn Crafts. Yes, I know, her hands are prettier than mine. That's because she's a lady, and I'm the feral cat that you found sleeping on your porch when you came home from vacation. If you're not already subscribing to Tony's channel, check her out. I'll leave a link in the description. She's amazing. For Touchability, I give Bernat Maker Home Dec half a heart. Okay, it's not gossamer unicorn fur, but it doesn't have to be. The construction of the yarn, that corded cotton over a core of nylon, makes each strand full of stretch and really squishy. I mean, it's just so squishy. That means any project is naturally smushy and cozy. Okay, so this doesn't really figure in if you're making baskets or bags, but if you step out of a warm bed on a cold winter day to find a home deck rug under your toes, well, I'm just saying that's going to start you off on the right foot. For versatility, I recommend Home Dec for crochet only. Though they show knit swatches on their website, Home Dec is happiest hanging with hookers. It loves to be crocheted, and as you can see from this smattering of projects, it has the structure and body to make durable baskets, bags, and rugs. I've even used it for macrame. But this isn't a yarn which moves readily from the floor to the ballroom, as if there is such a thing. Personally, I wouldn't work it up into a garment, not even a chunky hat or a bulky scarf. I find it lacks the drape and flexibility I want in a wearable fiber, but that's just me. Despite its hardy character, I would also steer clear of weaving unless it's purely decorative. It may be tempting to use Home Dec as a warp yarn since it'll never break under pressure, but for my taste, there's simply too much stretch to create a nice, predictable weave structure. Think of it this way. The yarn is named Home Decor. Pillows, rugs, macrame, maybe even an indestructible afghan. That's where this yarn really shines. There are some special techniques to consider, specifically for Bernat Maker Home Dec. It's one more reason I would avoid anything wearable, and that is, this is a difficult yarn to join. Now, I've experimented quite a bit. You can use the magic knot technique, but it's a stretchy yarn, so you'll end up with these big noticeable knots in your project. After working so hard to get all those bad boys out of there, you don't want to put a bunch of knots back in. Because of the plating, you'd think it'd be well suited for a Russian join, but I find it too difficult to feed through the tight weave of the outer core. My preferred method is to fold, loop, and double my ends, making invisible joins, which are completely lost in the bulk of the work. You basically just work these in as you go. It also means there are no ends to weave in, and that's pretty damn delicious. In case you're not familiar with these joins, I'll include some links down in the description. Overall, I give Bernat Maker Home Dec a rating of half a heart. Okay. It took a hit because it doesn't ship product ready, which is what I expect for any yarn packaged in skeins. Additionally, the yarn lacks the versatility of other yarns, especially cotton, nylon, and other machine washable yarns. However, Home Dec shines when put to its intended use. Thus far, I've turned it into plant holders, pot holders, multiple rugs, various baskets, and a medley of bags. There's just something about a yarn which wants to help you bend time and space. Wake up in the morning with a skein of yarn, go to bed with a shopping bag. Now that sounds like a dream come true.
Jasper, why? Why are you attacking the rug? Jasper,